All right, guys, happy Friday. Welcome back. Friday evening, late night live stream. Sorry for the little bit of delay getting started here. I am working with Mediocre tonight, and we were working on getting the collab cam set up, and he wanted to try green screen and a couple of new things here. Let me see if we can get him on screen. I see you, Mediocre. Can you hear me? Hello, hello. He might need a minute to figure out his audio. Always a little bit of, at least we got the green screen piece working. But no, we can't hear you, amigo. I'm going to talk to him in Discord.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Mediocre, I'm coming at you in Discord here. Check your microphone setting and collab cam and make sure it's set to the right one. Here, check your microphone setting and collab. Chris, how you doing this evening? Sparky, you still with us? And I'm going to send the invite here. Maybe we can get one other person in and test with 3 guests. Open the collab cam. I'm going to paste it in the chat. All right, I was looking for some fun stuff to talk about on Super Stonk. Maybe we'll come back to that in a minute. Let's go to the GameStop screen here while we're waiting for Mediocre to get his audio mic selected. Chris, I was wondering about you with John Party, if you went to go see that concert or not. And oh man, the artist that I was thinking of, that it's funny, you know, you and I were talking about that the other night, and then my wife and I went somewhere later that evening, and that damn song you mentioned from John Party was on the radio playing as soon as we got in the car. And then shortly after that came, when we were on the way home, came that other artist who he's I think a newer guy, and I can't remember his name now. I tried to burn it in my memory, but it didn't work. That I thought sounds like John Party. An hour and a half, nice. I'm trying to remember if I have ever seen him when he came to Austin or not. I feel like I might have. I feel like I might have, because before I really knew who John Party was, this is actually bad. I had all of, you know, we had all of our favorite songs that we like to dance to out at the Country Western Dance Hall. And then one day I realized that John Party was like half of those. I was like, oh, this guy, I like that song, I like that song, I like that song. He sings all of those. Very danceable music if you're a two-stepper or a one-stepper. I know a lot of y'all, you know, in other parts of the country might be like, one step, what the heck is that? It's a made-up dance we do here in Texas to teach the girls how to dance. Oh, I don't know how to dance. I know. I was like, do you know how to walk? Can you do left, right, left, right? All right. Can you hear the beat there? Boom, 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 boom. All you got to do is walk. Come on, girlfriend, you can do it. Works every time, Chris. I see Mediocre dropped out. Let's see if we can get his. We spent all this time working on the green screen. Still did not get it quite the way we wanted it to, but we got it enough to work, and now his microphone's not working. Who is that? Grickle's minion. Whoop whoop. GameStop, let's go. How about those lines? Did any of y'all go check out the lines in your local area today? I heard from around the country that those lines were starting overnight last night. I have waited in lines like that before, but not at a GameStop. I'm trying to remember there were some Call of Duty times, and I think maybe World of Warcraft too, where we did the midnight pickup at GameStop, but I don't ever remember those kind of crazy lines. All right, well, I'm waiting on Mediocre. I'm going to see. Let's see what kind of funny stuff they do have over here in Super Stonk. Got some people, now that Power Packs is public, posting their pulls. Wow, this guy did a $100 gold pull, got a $470 card. Very nice. First, oh, that's his first nice pull, not his first pull. Can you imagine if that was your first pull? How nice that would be. 5-pack of pre-rolls came with a trading card. I got Warrant. Is that for real? That is hilarious. I don't know what that is. Takes one power pack pull to realize the revenue machine that has been created. Who is this? Let it glow big. What's he gonna pull here? A starter pack. I want to see some Warrant DD in here, though. That's what I'm really trying to find. But let's see what this guy got. $40, not too shabby. IV max pain volume and open interest data every day until MOAS or society collapses. Grickle says Super Stonks is all power packs lately. Do you remember when it was all CandyCon controllers? Michael Burry has hinted the crash has begun. Is he going to be right this time? What is up with Pulte's role in government and his alleged abuse of power, considering he was one of the dudes we rooted for? I don't know that many GameStop people that rooted for Pulte, so I'm assuming that this Chopari gentleman is a Bed Bath & Beyond investor. I mean, am I wrong there? Am I wrong? Did any GameStop people actually support Pulte? Does this affect the Stonk? No, it does not affect GameStop. And he did not affect Bed Bath & Beyond either. He was there for clout, in my opinion. Added 192 to his DRS collection and became a quadruple X hodler. Good job, my friend. Transferred them all from IKBR. Good luck selling in the MOAS. GameStop tweeted this today. I don't know if y'all saw that. They said, nothing says family fun like watching a scalper walk out with a cart full of booster packs. This is why we have purchase limits. Walmart should do the same. If you click on this tweet from GameStop, it opens up the photo and you can see the guy with the lap full of booster packs. There's a Walmart store in the background of his driver's window. Yeah, a lot of power pack stuff. Come on, show me some warrants. Oh boy, Travis. Travis blocked me. OG apes aren't falling for this anymore. Hedge funds don't have to do anything. They will cheat and get away with it. The only thing they can't stop, won't stop, is the success of GameStop. Let's see, what are we talking about here, Travis? Ryan Cohen is only sending out authorized GameStop warrant dividends from the company as specified. This warrant, well, let's see what he says. This warrant will be on the open market. Ticker will most likely be GMEWS. Can't even get that right, bro. It's GMEWS. So already a fail on the first sentence. Market makers who short sold to retail apes more shares than what they exist on the market have to buy the warrants on the open market. This lack of punctuation and multiple capitalization is confusing to my little pea brain. Yeah, I mean, I guess if there's some market makers who sold short, or I mean, really what we should be talking about is the shorts who sold short. Market makers aren't in the habit of holding short positions. They try and end each day flat. Creating a warrant squeeze. Well, we shall see, Travis. We shall see. I'm betting there'll be a little bit of volatility. Not anything probably what you're expecting, my man, Travis. If nobody sells their warrants, there's going to be plenty of people selling their warrants, Travis. By my best reckoning, at least 4 million passive ETF holders, 4 million warrants, 40 million shares, and we hadn't even started talking yet about the convertible debt bondholders who are short another 40 million. And they're receiving 14 million warrants. They will only need 4 million. So there's another 10 million of warrant liquidity. This whole narrative these guys are trying to spin about a warrant squeeze, I would say it's dubious DD, but I'd be thrilled to be wrong. I'd be thrilled to be wrong. But he says if nobody sells their warrants, all right, let's run with this. Let's assume he's right. The market makers can't buy and deliver the warrants to the what? Why couldn't they short them, Travis? Just create synthetic warrants, right? They may be forced to close their GME short positions. No, a market maker is not going to close their short position because if they're going short, it is to make a market. This whole focus on market makers is the problem. You guys need to focus on institutions that are short. Market makers have one job, that is to provide a market. Sometimes they're long, sometimes they're short. Most of those positions last a couple minutes, couple seconds. I mean, if this is your belief that the market makers are the problem, I would say you don't really understand what a market maker does. Bob talking to Max Payne believers. Let me see if I can check in with mediocre here. Hang on one second.
Go ahead. Make my
He's MIA. Max Payne today was 26, Grickles. What did we close at today? 26.42. So we closed above Max Payne. Let's see what else we got here. More DRS. Share buyback. Daily share buyback. I don't know what that is. Mic check. Yeah, y'all can hear me, right? Man, 69,000 karma. I still can't get enough karma to post on Super Stonk. I don't know if that is a blessing or a curse. Did Roaring Kitty know back on May 13th, 2024 about the warrants? Important Cupcake is wondering. I'll give you 10 per notch. Look at that. He's a time traveler, guys. He knew a good 16 months ago. Or did Ryan Cohen go back and crawl through the Roaring Kitty lore and figure that this was a hint to Ryan Cohen of how many warrants to distribute? Maybe we got it wrong. Maybe Ryan is following Keith. DRS. People waiting in line, love it. More buying. Reverse repo, don't care. $93 on a $50 pack. Love it. Man, you ain't kidding. You weren't kidding. There are power packs galore here. Smooth brain question about DRS and warrants. Ooh. Of course, my shares are DRS, he says. Typically buy in Fidelity and transfer to computer share. Bought 2 shares today to round up. So I get the additional warrant. Good move. These shares need to be DRS, but I have to wait for them to settle. Yeah, so he just bought them. Got to wait for them to settle. On Monday, they'll be settled. No, it won't be on Tuesday. We're not T+2. Question is, do you think they'll get transferred before Friday? Yeah, that is a good question. This is the, I don't know. How long does it take to get stuff transferred to DRS, to computer share? They will be settled. His wording is confusing. They will be settled on Monday. The question is, will they be transferred in your computer share account for them to credit you by Friday? That is, keep us posted. Campus safety, keep us posted. How long that old DRS transfer process takes. You got 5 days next week. Look, even the 80s rock bands knew. It was foretold when I was but a teenager. Why is IV so low? Oh, here we go. Here's someone worried about folks investing. He says, please play it safe. I'm worried a lot of people can't afford to hold will pour into GameStop in the next few days. I can see a scenario where shorts allow the price to rise up so people will buy in. And then once the warrants are issued, short the stock heavily to get people to sell their shares. Well, I mean, your initial premise is they can't afford to hold, so if the price goes down, they probably would sell. This is pure speculation, he says. I just don't want to see people get shook if this happens. And don't want to see people lose money by being paper-handed. If you cannot afford to hold during this next year and are just hoping to make a fast buck, please be careful. I mean, even if you could afford to hold, you still could lose money. I think what he's saying is don't buy GameStop if you're not a speculative investor. I agree with that 100%. You know, this is it's not a blue chip stock yet. This is a speculative ticker that is slightly overvalued. If you're not prepared for that, then sit this one out. Because none of us know what's going to happen. It could go up, it could go down, could have a lot of volatility up and down. And yeah, no telling what the institutions are going to do, or the shorts, come October 7th. I like his closing statement. Please be careful and good luck to all. Couldn't have said it better myself. Grickle says probably drop once the warrants comes out. Right now there's hype. That is, I think a very possible scenario, kind of like the hype before the stock split a couple years ago, and then it ran down when the expected MOAS didn't happen. Remember they were saying back then, oh, this is not a split. They said this is a dividend and the shorts aren't going to get those shares. I'm like, oh, people are going to get burned, and they did. And that wasn't because of any crime, or wasn't because GameStop submitted it incorrectly, wasn't because the DTCC processed it incorrectly. It's because people did not understand a split dividend is just a split. We told you in advance exactly what was going to happen. It went down exactly like I told you it would happen. But, nobody watches this channel for GameStop, so only a select few knew to sell into that run-up. Everybody else is angry, but be angry at bad DD. That's what that was. AK says, check out TKC. All right, we will do that here in a bit. Got more power packs, more power packs, more power packs. This guy says power packs should produce billions in profits. So it probably is going to be trillions in sales? He says he spent $125 today on power packs. He wanted to experience it like a normal customer to see if I would be compelled to act in a certain way. He said he accidentally spent $125 on starter packs. His plan was to spend $100. So he spent $125 and he got in 22, 36, 44, 64. He got in, roughly $75. So he lost a considerable amount. That's just the card value, not even the buyback. Then he bought two $50 packs, lost money on those. Then he bought $100 pack and made $76.50 on. I mean, so he spent $325. He recovered $204. Net loss $120. I mean, that would, for me, you know, someone who hates losing money, I probably would never go back, unless I, you know, if you're a gambler, you got that. Maybe this time I'll get lucky. You know, my concern is if you don't give people wins often enough, you kind of just turn them off. Not everybody has a gambler mentality. There's going to be people that lose $120 after 7-8 pulls and like, fuck this. But I mean, maybe I'm, you know, maybe if you're just buying cards in the stores, the physical cards, maybe you're already used to that. Maybe I'm making too much of this. Maybe I'm being too much of a negative Nelly. Grickle says, smart on GameStop for opening a casino without having to have a gambling license. Yeah. I mean, I think that, you know, the gamblers and the fanatical GameStop supporters are going to absolutely love this thing. And the streamers, especially, you know, if people are donating money to pull packs, why not? Why not? But for your average Joe, you know, who can't afford to lose $120 in 15 minutes, I don't know. Let's see if he thinks everybody is going to go on with that. He says, from his sample size, the higher price packs offer better value. You should be able to check the odds by the gold, silver, and see which one gives you the best odds. But odds still are not a guarantee. $325 in revenue, minus his buybacks, gives them $107 in gross margin. That appears correct. Minus the selling fees, $120. I mean, if they're getting anywhere near 25 or 30% margin, that's pretty good, right? All right, ape math. If you have 100,000 customers per year, that's 3.25 million to GameStop in revenue. Revenue. Then he says if you have 55 million customers, estimated Power Rewards members each spend $325 per year. That is $17.87 billion in revenue. Wow. 55 million. I'm just going to double check his math. Times 325. Sure is. It's 17 billion. There are 347 million people approximately in the United States in 2025. So what he's saying here, in order for GameStop to generate 17 billion, we need about 1 in 6 of you in the United States to spend $325 on power packs. I would just submit to the audience, do you think that is realistic? 1 in 6 of United States citizens are going to know about power packs and then spend $325 on it. I mean, what do you think? SP Narwhale, what's up? He says a good thing is that the cards often appreciate in value over time. Yep. Yeah. If you have the mentality of keeping losses and breaking even later, that's just a bit more justifiable. I would agree with that. I think the people that are more on the gambling, like they just want to spin the wheel till they get a ding, 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 ding. You know, you got an $800 pull on a $100 pack. Those people will keep selling back the cheap cards because for them, the thrill is in the chase. But a lot of people, many people will probably just archive that card. Yeah, I don't know about this guy's. I mean, his math looks okay. I think this might be a little bit over optimistic. Are there really 55 million Power Rewards members? That would be astonishing to me. What is the... Any of y'all remember that number from the last 10Q? That's an astonishing high number if that is correct. It looks like in the past that number was globally close to an accurate number. It says paid pro memberships 5 million. Total Power Up Rewards members around 56 million. That's still more than I would have expected. I need to go look up on the more recent 10Qs or 10Ks what the number is. Rico says Grandma wants to pull a Mewtwo. Let's go, Grandma. Get her set up. What do you want, Loki? The cat is grumbling that he's hungry. All right, this guy's grumbling about something. Let's see. Life is hard enough. Why are they just trying to make it harder? I'm saying this in anger after the day I've had. Sorry you had a bad day, little big shorty. And usually I'm very level-headed Zen dude, but F me, life's hard enough. Why are people such bastards? Context. I aped into GameStop after reading all the DD and the peak hype of sneezedom. I mean, if you're calling it a sneeze, you're still stuck in hopium land. It was a squeeze. Shorts got fucked. Hedge funds went bankrupt. I mean, there's no doubt shorts got squeezed. These people that continue to call it a sneeze already, I'm worried for what else I'm going to read here. He says he picked up all that he could with an average of $340 pre-split and averaged down as much as he could over the last few years. Currently, I'm sitting at an average of 41-ish. Man, that's rough. I mean, I think, you know, there's a reasonable chance he gets out, break even, maybe even at a profit over the next few years. Depending on what Ryan Cohen has planned to announce with all that cash that they have, I think that, you know, there's a decent chance of a FOMO spike or maybe even a justifiable spike in the price. He says, I'm so broke, but I just can't bring myself to sell one. Yeah, I mean, that would hurt, losing 50%. Today I'm short for rent money, so I've decided to sell my fancy gravel bike to cover it and have a bit of spare cash to live on. Also have a job and stuff, but it's hard. It is hard for a lot of people. You know, for some people, I'm just going to say this, and that's going to make life even harder, but get a second job. Zachary says, when is Power Packs going public? I don't think I got an invite. You should be able to go on right now, Zachary, and sign in. They turned off the buy button. That's what got my attention, Grickles said. That was irritating, Grickles. I remember that day. There was definitely some people about to get, institutions, market makers, banks, whoever. There were some people about to get effed up. It was a short squeeze. They nipped it before we got to see the full extent of how high it could go. I still call it a short squeeze. I don't call it a squeeze because, let me tell you, if we get in that kind of situation again, you already know what they're going to do. You think that there won't be a repeat of that? Of course there would be a repeat. Shut this bitch down. They're not going to let the market melt down over one stock. All right, this gentleman's got some call options following Roaring Kitty's example. He's got, what do we got here? $35, $65, and $60 calls. He's up about, let's call it 4,400. I mean, that's not too shabby. This was 11 hours ago. When you're up 40, 50% on calls in my book, that's a pretty good time to be thinking about taking some of those profits off the table. Unless you're a degenerate gambler. I mean, if it was just a couple of contracts, a couple of dollars, let it ride. But, you know, we got 10, 12, 13, over $14,000 invested here. And if you're gambling all of that on speculation that things are going to get crazy around October 7th, you know, it's a coin toss. It's a coin toss. If you can afford just to burn 14,000, then keep on holding. But I'd be tempted to at least take some of that profit off the table. I'm not a degenerate gambler, though. I'm a gambler, but not a complete degen. I could not just burn 14,000 like that. He says they expire in 2027. That's good. He said he bought them when IV was low. Good. Good, good. You know, you got time. I think you got some time here to, there's no rush, maybe. Depending on, you know, a lot of that depends on how important is $14,000 to you. He's got 615 shares DRS, so he's got a, you know, fairly sizable position. Good luck, Mr. Professional Driver. Good luck. Jack Wolf, how you doing, amigo? Jack Wolf, are you in Railtown also, by the way? Hell no, he says. All right. Must be, I must be confusing your name with someone else, Jack. Grickle says, I want to see what, I think you mean Ryan Cohen, right? RC does with that billion. Wait, you say, did you mean Roaring Kitty? You guys think Roaring Kitty still has his shares? I want to see what Ryan Cohen does with $8.7 billion. That's what I want to see. That's what I'm here for. We got eToro news. eToro to add warrants to their platform for GameStop. New trades cannot be opened on the warrant. However, once market pricing is available and trading begins, users holding a warrant will be able to liquidate or trade their warrants directly on the platform. Liquidate or trade. They didn't say exercise. We will share details about whether we will be able to support exercising closer to the exercise date. See, the problem is many of these companies that issue warrant dividends don't actually drop the 424B2, the warrant agreement, the prospectus, until the day of the warrant distribution. So a lot of these brokers, I think, are being hesitant to give you firm guidance until they see that. But man, I mean, I want you guys on a broker where you have full utility, not on this eToro nonsense. Like, this shouldn't even be a question. You should be able to exercise. And if your broker doesn't even know, man, that would piss me off. And even more upsetting would be these brokers that are going to pay people cash. You're not even going to get the warrant. You're just going to get cash on day one. And what price am I going to get that cash at? The starting trading price, the average of the day, the high of the day, the close of the day. I mean, it could be all over the place on that first day. What price are you going to pay me? Ryan Cohen's going to spend his money on AMC. Oh, man. AMC needs about $4 billion to pay off their debt, Jack. And then it'd be a profitable business. But what would be the return on that investment? That is how I would answer that question. I don't know. I know you're just joshing, but a lot of people think that's coming. A lot of AMC investors think that's coming. GameStop investors probably howling at the screen. Hell no. Don't go buy no movie theater company. Ryan, Larry, no. Yeah, the AMC debt, long-term debt, is down considerably. Thank you, investors. AMC long-term debt. Not total debt, because that includes leases. They don't even give me the breakdown here. I don't want to see total debt. I want to see... Well, fuck me. Come on, man. I thought stock analysis would let us break down long-term debt is standing right around $4 billion, and it was 5.4 in 2021, and I can't see more out than that. But it was, yeah, it was at least another billion higher, I think, in 2019. They've done a decent job of paying some off, but we need a little bit more paid off to make that ease of showing a profit every quarter. We need a lot of it paid off. Let's be real, or we need bigger box office. All right, AK wants me to look at TKC. Yeah, I mean, what do we got here, AK? Is it Turkcell? Is this it? Is that what you want me to look at? Turkcell and ADR? Power pack, power pack, power pack. Today's the day. If today is not the day, repeat tomorrow. Is anyone planning on adding to their warrant pile, or is it just me? Hungry Band asks. He's a 5x holder, so he'll be getting over 1,000 warrants. Very nice, but I still want more, lots more. And I've got a strong feeling I'm not going to be the only one wanting to snap these bad boys up once they start trading a week on Tuesday. 13 months seems ample time for GameStop's price to go well above 32, and it's always possible for the board to extend the expiry date, so I'm willing to significantly add to my warrant stash. I might add some warrants, but I plan on waiting to see if IV and Theta decay give me a better entry than day one. Could GameStop's price go well over 32? Maybe, if Ryan has the right news in the next 13 months. Absolutely, it could. I'm also going to suggest to you, who is this? Mr. Hungry Band. Check into Leap's 1 year out, $32 strike. I bet you right now, while the stock is at 26 bucks, or if it drops a little bit, you could pick them up maybe cheaper than those warrants, or at least close. Like, you don't even need to wait for the warrants. You could just go buy a Leap right now. Going to be very similarly priced. All right, that is, AK says it is Turkcell. Yes, that's what he wants me to look at. All right, AK, let's see what we got here. Recent high, $8 in July 2024. Currently trading at $5.94. It's been trading flat since March of this year. All right, we got kind of the lay of the land. This company is a provider of converged telecommunication services. Retails also smartphones, laptops, blah, blah, blah. Headquartered in Istanbul, Turkey. What do we got here? Revenue in Turkish, I don't even know what the Turkey money is called, TRY. Growing revenue, we like that. Growing gross profits, we like that. Growing operating income, we like that. Net income, growing. I mean, when I say growing, I'm going back 5 years. Earnings per share. Shares outstanding, they're not diluting. Gross margins 27, operating margin 22, profit margin 13, free cash flow 33. I mean, looks pretty good. Current assets 173, current liabilities 102. That's all right. Total assets 457, total liabilities 237. That's good. Positive Positive shareholders' equity and positive working capital. Cash flow. Positive and growing operating cash flow. I mean, yeah. There's no red flags jumping out on a quick look. Turkcell ranked world's #1 in ESG among telecom operators. PE ratios low at 8.71. No analysts covering the stock. That's the problem. It looks like they do pay a dividend. Shares outstanding 878 million, free float 878, market cap 5.2 billion. I guess, you know, my thoughts on this one is the financials look okay, so you need to have a story that you can go in and do your DD that you believe they can grow earnings. Let's look at that one more time, these earnings growth. Let's just, 2023, they were at 18 billion Turkish lira or whatever the F it is. 23, 18, 23, and 23. From 2023, there were half of that in 2022. I mean, this reminds me of when I looked at Ford back in the day. Just, I mean, you could have been holding this thing since 2002 and you still break even. These are not, that type of chart to me is just not super exciting. Although buying in at $2 and, you know, riding it up to 8 would have been cool. I don't know. Something going on with the growth of this company that is not letting this stock move up. How can they be stuck like this for this long? I must be missing something, AK. Check into their growth prospects, though. That's what you need to know. That's the story you need to study. Hazel, what's up? Never mind, he says. Crickle says someone throw a pie. AK says Turkcell is currently in the process of a merger with its wholly owned subsidiary Artel, announced in September 2025. Well, Turkish lira, he says, I guess. You mean my guess was right? It is the Turkish lira? I have no idea what that Turkish dollar is called. Currency. It doesn't look horrible. I mean, just a quick look at the financials. Nothing jumped out at me. Obviously, I would want to spend more time reading. I mean, a $5 billion company and it has no analysts covering it. That's kind of weird. Maybe because it's a Turkish company. But somebody should be covering it, right? $5.2 billion market cap. What else we got here in the land of super stonk? 509 of the last 826 trading days with short volume above 50%. I would bet you money If you go and pull 20 random tickers, you will find the same thing. I don't know why people are so fixated on short volume, especially on heavily retail traded stocks. These numbers don't look out of whack, really, to me. Look at a few more tickers. Go find 20 random tickers and tell me that 18 of them are different than this. I think you're going to find that 18 look just like this. People get myopically focused on meaningless things. What is meaningful to me? GameStop's financials, the earnings per share, the cash they have ready to deploy. This is all chewing gum, I guess, to give you something to talk about. Not going to help your trades. Not going to help your trades one bit, focusing on that. Focus on getting better at reading financial statements. That's where I'd spend my time. Focus on learning how to do a DCF. There's a lot of great DD you could do becoming a better investor. Go sit down and read a 10Q all the way through, every line. A lot of people have just convinced themselves things are important when they don't matter. And I blame social media for that. If enough people tell you something that matters, it must matter, right? Especially the footnotes. Dink, yes. All right, Sandman Bun, he's asked Grok about the publicly available short interest data for the timing of the MOAS. Oh boy, this is going to be a good one. I do like this topic of short interest data, and someone just commented on one of my videos, Tony, you talk about short interest, but you need to make sure you say self-reported short interest. Fair point. He says, too long didn't read. Grok did a surprisingly decent job summarizing the current loopholes being exploited by market makers and hedge funds, which isn't new information to most of us, but might be helpful to newer apes and or anyone trying to explain to their friends and family why the public data on short interest is as believable as Kenny G claiming to represent the best interests of retail traders. You're right to point out that publicly reported short interest data, primarily from FINRA and sources like Fintel or MarketB. Fintel and MarketB are not sources, guys. They are data consolidators. Let's get that straight. FINRA consolidates the short interest data from market participants. Fintel and MarketB are not sources. There are places you can go to see the data reported by FINRA, if that makes sense. This data has limitations and has faced substantial criticism, even from me. It's not collected and frequently enough and reported to us on a timely basis. Those, I think, are legitimate criticisms, especially in the context of heavily shorted meme stocks, he says. While I referenced it in my previous analysis as a key metric because it's the most accessible, standardized, and regulator mandated data available, it's far from infallible. Yeah, I mean, my first thought is there are many, many ways that market participants can get they can get short without going short. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking naked shorts. They could get short exposure from options. They could get short exposure from any number of derivatives, swaps. And that stuff is not going to show up in short interest. But short interest is the the market data that we have, so you should pay attention to it. I agree with him. It's not the end all be all. It doesn't tell you the whole story. That is reasonable. But you know, derivatives are they're a side bet. They're not. I can't tell you that people that get short exposure with derivatives are going to necessarily need to go buy shares in a short squeeze. You know, the best thing going for GameStop back in 2021 was massive short interest. And either nobody's shorting it right now except the bondholders, or they've found other ways to go short, to get short exposure if they want it. I don't even really know why anyone would short GameStop right now. That's why I actually believe the reported short interest. It's kind of a dumb short. I mean, I'd have to be kind of foolish to believe billions of shares have been bet against GameStop when they are not going bankrupt. They have almost $9 billion in cash, and they have turned the corner on operating profits. Why would anybody be short? It's a stupid short, and shorts are not stupid. So I believe the reported short interest, 16%. But if you're sitting here with a cost basis of $41, like the gentleman that we were reading earlier, I get why this is a compelling story. Like, you really want to believe this because you need to. But I've found using the reported short interest very handy in driving my trading decisions. It enabled me to step away from believing this stuff and making sensible decisions. Buy when it's cheap, sell into run-ups. Keep a little bit on the side. If I'm really worried about a MOAS, keep a little bit on the side. Six Sun says, did I have any expectations for GameStop? We talked about it briefly in Discord this morning, Six Sun, because a lot of people were chiming in like, look at that pop, look at that morning pop. I was like, morning wood, on a Friday options expiration, they're probably going to go back down. So I was expecting, this morning I was expecting a close around 26. We got 26.40, so it beat my expectations. Yeah, and hey, Squishmallow, thank you for that. If you go look at Fintel, this is one of my pet peeves. I'm glad you brought that up. If we look at Chart Exchange or Fintel or any of the data consolidators, the ones, these charts that people love to put up, guys, there's no more shares left available. Short interest, cost to borrow. This right here, you guys have seen this chart posted a million times, right? Remember when it goes to zero? Any ticker, literally any ticker that retail traders are involved in, when this gets down to zero, they will tell you there's no more shares available. What they won't copy when they post this on screen caps is this line right up here, Interactive Brokers. You're literally looking at data from one lending source in the entire market. It's the dumbest. Whenever I see someone post this and then say they're out of shares, I automatically cannot believe anything that person ever says again, because they've been in this trade 4 years and they don't even have the common sense to read up there or down here. The data is from Interactive Brokers. It is not representative of the entire market of lendable shares. We got to help people get smarter. If you're still falling for this no shares available nonsense, while the cost to borrow is not even 0.5%, You are allowing people for 4 years to lie to you. Come on the journey with us over here. We're going to shoot you straight. Help you step out of the nonsense. There's a ton of fucking nonsense. Fintel. What does Fintel say? I know they have the same warning. I've posted about this from time to time. It is one of my favorite pet peeves. So they got the same table. You'll notice it's the same data, 1.8 million shares, same as right here. Because guess why? IKBR is their data source. It says this table shows the number of shares available at a leading prime brokerage. Literally, IKBR is the only one that sells their data to these consolidators. They go on to say it is not the total number of shares available. They go even more overboard to shoot you straight, but nobody ever reads the fine print. It does not include data from other brokers or dark pools. It is a small sample. It should not be treated as the absolute number of shares available. I wish, every time you see somebody post this bullshit and say there's no shares available, I wish you'd screenshot this and put that on every one of these motherfuckers' tweets and Reddit posts. It is blatant misunderstanding or blatant lying to people. I gave up. I certainly have told the worst offenders about this, and they don't fucking care, which means to me they are purposely lying. All right, getting back to the gentleman here. Why rely on public short interest data at all? It's the official benchmark. Solid point, yes. Is self-reported by broker dealers to FINRA. Yeah, that is true. Historical utility. In past events like 2021, reported short interest was a clear signal of vulnerability. Yeah. Even if it's understated, I don't think it was understated. I mean, maybe if you consider derivatives, but it is the short interest, but there could be more short exposure. Correlated with volatility and borrow rates. The best thing you can look at is, I think, the cost to borrow. When you have high cost to borrow and high short interest, you're getting the shorts over a barrel now. No better public alternatives, yeah. For me, the number one thing I really look at is this. If cost to borrow is not even 1%, there's plenty of shares available. It's an easy short if someone wanted to. And this also tells me with that low cost to borrow, nobody's fucking shorting this thing. There's no demand. There's high availability of shares and no demand to short GameStop. The convertible bondholders went short. They do a little bit of hedging here and there, up or down on their short position. But in general, the shorts are not interested in GameStop. And how do I know that? Because the cost to borrow is nothing. No demand. He goes on to say some of what we were just talking about, the reported short interest only captures traditional short positions. True. And it excludes other mechanisms that create short exposure without showing up in the numbers. I agree with that too. Alternative ways to check short pressure. Borrow rates. I mean, this guy's got a lot of good points here. That's exactly what I just said. You got to look at the borrow rates. FTDs and reg show. I mean, I found that less useful. The number one thing that I always look at and pretty much the only thing I look at anymore is what is the short interest, but even more importantly, what is the borrow rate? If it's low, nobody's trying to short this thing. So then the pumpers, they go to the next thing because they know this looks bad. They'll go to the short volume. Look at that short volume. 52%, 61%. Let's add all these up. Going back to infinity, this clearly shows billions of shares short. Again, just completely misunderstanding. Short volume is not short interest, but I digress. So yeah, I mean, this guy's got a lot of stuff correct on here. He says for a potential 2025 to 2026 squeeze, these hidden factors, the other short exposure, could make it more explosive than the official data suggests. I don't disagree with that. But in general, what I want to see to get an explosive short squeeze is I want to see high short interest and high cost to borrow. I'm not convinced that swaps, since they're a derivative bet, I'm not convinced that they will change the stock price in a meaningful way, even in a short squeeze. They could bankrupt somebody. You get upside down on a swap. Will it drive buying pressure of the underlying ticker? I don't know. I'm not convinced in that scenario. SP Narwhale says, oh wait, Hallie first. Hallie. All right, let me go back. I'm going to take Hallie first. He says, cards are highly addictive if you let it. I'll send you another video. Accidentally spent 125 because he was losing and hoped to hit one. I bet you're right. He said because his spreadsheet was messed up. No. You had to hit that button, friend, right, Hallie? Yeah, I think you're right. He tried one more time. Maybe this one will hit. I mean, it appeals to a certain addictive type personality, and people they're gonna justify it. You already see it. You already see it on YouTube and social media. These people will lose 40-50% in 10-15 minutes and then say, that's okay, I want GameStop to have the revenue. That is lying to yourself that you just got fucked gambling on something. And that's okay. I mean, gambling is entertainment, but have some limits around what you're willing to lose. Like, use the same common sense you would when you go to a casino. And if you get a good pull, don't squander it. Grickle says, how do warrants make GameStop money? The warrant itself does not make GameStop money until the price exceeds $32. I mean, will there be some people exercising the warrant even if GameStop is not at 32? Maybe. It'd be kind of dumb. Like, if GameStop's trading at 27 and you exercise your warrant, you're saying, I'm willing to pay 32 to GameStop today for what I could buy in the open market at 27. Not a great decision there, but will some people do it? Yeah, some will. A couple. GameStop makes their money when you exercise your warrant. You're going to send them $32 per warrant. You'll pay your broker, and the broker will send it to GameStop, and you'll get your share. So they stand to make up to $1.9 billion. It's like a ATM, equity raise, except if the price goes over $32, you win because the price went up. Hopefully on good news from GameStop, maybe because of FOMO or short squeeze, who knows? You hope you will win because all of your shares that you own now will be more highly valued, hopefully considerably more than 32. That's your win. And they expect a considerable amount of people over the next 13 months, if that happens, to exercise and send them $32 per warrant. They will pocket in that issuance of shares. It's a share issuance. They will pocket up to $1.9 billion by selling 59 million new shares. That's how GameStop wins. So that's why I called it a win-win, potentially. If the price goes up, you will win. You can act on the price going up or not act on it. GameStop will definitely win. You know, maybe the price goes up to 40 and then comes back down. Maybe it goes up to 40 and never comes back down. I don't know. But if it goes up and people exercise, GameStop is going to win no matter what, because they're going to get their $1.9 billion. Juan says, this dude has convictions, still grifting AMC and GameStop. Who are we talking about, Juan? I don't own any AMC. And I'm in GameStop at 21 bucks. And I've been swing trading it for years. So thank you for stopping in, Juan. Maybe he's talking to himself in the mirror, guys. Clearly not somebody who is a regular viewer of the channel, or he would have known that I don't own any AMC and that I've been swing trading GameStop profitably for years. But thanks for checking in, Juan. What else we got here? Wedmore says, I lost a ton on AMC. Think it's finally time for me to take the loss and walk. I'd be worried about what is on that proxy in October, Wedmore. That's something for you to consider. I don't know what's going to be on it, but that is one reason I have not been in the trade. For me, that is a unknown that I can't quantify, a risk that I cannot quantify. Juan says, this guy, any day now, AMC. I don't own AMC. I sold far higher than the price that it's currently at, and I have not bought in for a year for many reasons disclosed on a daily basis, mostly because it was going to go down. You know, if you knew how much hate I get from the AMC community, Juan, you wouldn't be here with your little clowny nonsense. You're only clowning yourself, dippy doo. Rickles says, why does Ryan C need another $2 billion? Already got $9 billion. I mean, we don't know what he has planned. Rickles. Maybe he's the more money he has, first of all, it improves the floor on the shares he has, which he's got a cost basis of about $2. If he ever needed to walk away or sell the company, the more money he can raise and put on the balance sheet, the better position he personally is in. If people want to keep handing him money, his golden parachute gets better and better every time GameStop puts more cash on the balance sheet. But I don't think of it in those bearish terms. I think that he genuinely wants to do something transformative with that cash. And the more cash you have, the more options and opportunities you have available to you. So maybe he delivers everybody a win. Maybe the market delivers everybody a win, runs the price up, get him some more cash. We'll see. Joe says weapons was fantastic. Guys, we saw yesterday one battle after another with Leonardo DiCaprio. Great movie. Go see that one this weekend. Get your movies in before the end of the quarter. The industry, if you're a fan of cinema, needs every last dollar they can get. This Q3 for AMC is going to be a loss, a substantial loss. Go get your movies in now. Every dollar helps. Man, Juan is on a bender tonight. Get ready, guys. These warrants, GME is going to squeeze. Juan, don't lie to people like that, Juan. We've done a lot of work here on this channel to rationally explain to people exactly what's going to happen with warrants. Squeeze is not one of my advertised outcomes. Juan, you're on the wrong channel, buddy. This is not a hopium pumper channel. Maybe you just enjoy talking to yourself. People watch you clown on yourself. My regular viewers know better than that. You are entertaining, but you're not correct. Palatial Gamer says, I bought a few dips, did well, cashed out, and now I'm buying a house. Beautiful. That is what we love to hear. That is called diversification too. Have you guys heard any of these GameStop YouTubers telling people don't diversify? You're stupid if you diversify. I mean, that is the most clownish thing that I've ever heard. People literally giving you financial advice not to diversify. Ooh, I mean, if you're really lucky, maybe it'll work out, but that's pretty bad advice in my opinion. Have a portfolio, guys, of in stocks. Have the bulk of your portfolio in profitable blue chip companies with a long history of growing income and growing profits and ideally paying dividends. Not all of them, you know, there's some big growing tech companies that don't pay dividends. That's fine. Have you some real estate. Make sure all your debt's paid off. And then if you got a little extra money and you want to play around in speculative tickers like GameStop or AMC or GNS, you know, that's your fun money. If you're betting your entire life on one speculative meme stock, maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. I'm not going to be the guy that tells you to put your entire life into one company. That seems like very questionable advice. He's fine, Chris. He can elicit a response to me. The only response he's going to elicit is clowning on him for being incorrect. And all of you who are here every day know how incorrect he is. I mean, this guy's a joke. He can't get one thing right about what we've covered on any ticker. Keep trying, Juan. We still love you. Even the haters provide extra views and comments, which help the algorithm. So I love to have everybody here. As long as you can speak like an adult, even if you're incorrect, it's cool. Maybe Juan will learn something here today. Juan needs a helmet, right, AK? Wedmore says, Weapons was great. I saw Leo DiCaprio was saying people need to see this new movie in the theater. We saw it in Dolby on Thursday night at AMC, of course. It was packed except for the front row. The audience, I can tell you, you know, from the reaction, loved the film. There were plenty of action, some comedy, you know, some funny moments. Leonardo DiCaprio played a what's the right word? A drug-addled, alcoholic conspiracy theorist. He thought the government was after him, but they were. I mean, he was legitimate, right? The government was after him for some things he did in his youth. I highly recommend the movie. I mean, it is long, 2 hours and 42 minutes. But if you got 3 hours to spare this weekend or over the next couple of weeks, that's fine. Go see it. You know, it needs a little more love than I think audiences are going to give it this weekend. We're expecting 20 to 30 million domestically on that film. I'd like to see it make 50. AK says 5.1 billion in Turkish lira is 123 million US. Maybe that's why, AK, no analysts are covering it. Oh, you know what? And let's So is the market cap when we look at, what was it? AK what? TKC. Is this market cap? No, I don't want to. TKC. Is this market cap in dollars? I'm assuming it is, right? I mean, I don't know. Six Sun says, what is the GME chart telling you? All right, just a recap for Juan and everybody else. Since Juan appears new here today. Some of my more recent trades on GameStop, I bought in April at 21, sold in this run up at 33, did not quite get the top, which was 35. Waited for the bond issuance, bought back in June at 21.61, so I'm up about $5 a share. This, I think, is kind of a safety zone, especially with GameStop having $9 billion in cash now. You'd need a total market crash to drive GameStop. Or, you know, if they issued another $2 billion in bonds, you'd see it crater down below this. But I don't think Ryan is interested in raising money at $22, $25. $30, yeah, absolutely. Because it would be overvalued. Same reason he's going to sell you warrants, sell you shares if the price runs up. He's letting you know that that is a price point at which the company is willing to sell more shares. I generally view that as a price point then at which he's saying it's overvalued. Hopefully he has some news to drive it way above that. What is the chart telling me? I wanted to see this week close on the daily on Friday above the 200 moving average. We did. That moving average at 25.88. We closed at 26.42. We spent 4 of the last 5 days above the 200 on the daily chart. On the weekly, we closed above both the 200 and the 50. I mean, this is still, just looking at technicals, a bullish chart. And I still remain bullish that it's a greater chance that we'll have positive momentum leading into October 7th than not. I am not predicting a MOAS around the warrant, just so we're clear, Juan. As I have been saying since September 9th, I expect some positive momentum up into that date. I have no idea what's going to happen after that date, but I think the general social media narrative is not to be believed about what is going to happen. I think you should have a sensible, reasonable expectation. There's going to be more than enough warrants handed out. There's going to be more than enough liquidity that anybody who is short can go buy warrants if they need them. That is my expectation. So I'm going to approach it sensibly. You can do whatever you want, and I would love to be wrong, but I don't think I will be. And if I am, you can come back and, you know, we'll say I was wrong and we'll pop some champagne together. How about that? If it runs to 60 or 100, I will come here and tell you I was wrong, guys. It went way higher than I thought. And we'll pop some champagne and celebrate together. Because I'm in at 21 bucks. Would I love it to go to 40, 50, 60 on October 7th? Absolutely. Do I think it's going to? I do not. But I'll take it if it does. Ryan, deliver us some good news. Keith Gill, bring Keith back, Ryan. The kids need to make some money. All these hodlers. What is the 10 on warrants for the synthetic shares? I mean, oh boy. I've heard people say this, you know, Maybe it was Uncle Frank. You know, there's billions of synthetic shares, and where are they going to get those warrants? How about no, Uncle Frank? How about no? I mean, that's where Juan should be spending his time. He should be going bugging Uncle Frank. Joe says, in the UK tonight, we had The Rock, Emily Blunt, Matthew McConaughey, all with calls to action to go see their films. What does Emily Blunt and Matthew McConaughey have out right now? I know the Rock has his movie coming up. I hope you guys go support Emily Blunt. What is she in? There's that other movie with Colin Farrell right now that's not doing very good. Q4 is going to be bomb. I mean, in a good way. October is going to be a little slow. It starts getting exciting around middle of November. I'm really happy that they added in this Taylor Swift into October. That will help. Chris says this is not a MOAS channel. Well, I mean, we'll take a MOAS, Chris, right? But it's not a basic tenet of this channel. We have a couple basic strategies here. Understand the financials, disconnect from social media, be able to read the chart, buy when it's cheap, sell into run-ups, rinse and repeat. Like I said, my most recent sale was at 33 bucks. Before that, I sold at 60 and 48. I don't know. Juan's smoking some crack. I don't think Juan knows how much hate and death threats I get from GameStop and AMC investors. I mean, I just want to see y'all make money. Self-included, of course. And if you don't want to trade, that's cool with me too. You're still welcome here. I'm not going to chastise you for being a hodler. I get it. But that is not what we discuss as a game plan here. I think you can have a reasonable game plan, guys, that delivers you all the profits in the world. And if there is that mythical MOAS, that is just a bonus to the plan we already have in place, which is reasonable trading based on a high volatility stock. What the fuck do you think the institutions are doing? How do you think they get rich? Hodling? No, they're trading the volatility. Rickle. Kitty will return and send our warrants to 120. GameStop would have to be about 115 for that to happen. I mean, I'm not going to rule out anything, Grickles. I'm not that smart to say that is impossible. In the world of possibilities, anything is possible. Is it likely is really what you got to ask yourself. And then once you determine that probability, how much of your life savings are you willing to allocate to that? In some people's minds, for sure, there's no probability, and it's 100%. I don't live my life in speculative stocks that way. I think there's a high probability Ryan Cohen and GameStop will do something smart with the cash. A high probability. I can't say it's a certainty. That would be disingenuous, dishonest, because I don't know what they have planned, but I think it's a high probability. It's reasonable to think they have a plan. On what timeline? I don't know. Hopefully in the next 13 months. Maybe these two things go hand in hand, the warrants and their plans with the cash. That would be ideal for us speculators, us gamblers. But even, you know, weighing all of that, I don't invest my entire savings in one company. No. If you want to, that's cool. Again, I'm not going to chastise you. I'm not going to insist that you diversify, just like I won't insist that, like the other YouTubers, they insist you must sell everything and put it in this one ticker. You know, that'd be cool if they're right, but I don't know if they'll be right. I got some writing on it that I'm willing to let ride. And, you know, I do me, you do you, and we can all be friends. We all have the same end goal. I don't know what all the hate's about. We all want the price to go up. Joe says they had 80% of the cash on hand to go in for the partial ownership of TikTok. Who ended up buying TikTok, Joe? Was it private equity? Did you guys see the Electronic Arts news? Do we consider the Saudi Arabia PIF private equity, by the way? Let's see what Grok says. No, not considered private equity. It's classified as a sovereign wealth fund. Yeah, I've heard that term before. They invest government funds across a diversified portfolio. I mean, some GameStop people would tell you Saudi Arabia is stupid then. Including public equities, private companies, real estate, infrastructure, and alternative assets. Oh yeah, I see now why they're not considered private equity, because they're not out raising capital from limited partners. That makes sense. What did EA close at today? 193. Silver Lake and the Saudi PIF allegedly offering up to $50 billion for Electronic Arts. And that market cap ran right up to that point. We'll see what develops. Stay tuned. Six Sun says you don't want to know who bought TikTok. Now who bought TikTok? I saw photos of a bunch of people standing in a room. Who TikTok, who bought TikTok? I saw the headlines that the US was going to own the algorithm, blah, blah, blah. Trump's endorsing it, blah, blah, blah. Unnamed, very wealthy group. Oracle. Oracle was in on that, right? T-11. Were they in on it? And let me guess, some private equity. Grickle says, I think we're all sleeping on invested in pumpkins. Halloween is coming up. I mean, the play on pumpkins, Grickles, was about 6-7 months ago. I mean, you're trying to come in late to the game now. You got to think ahead on these things. But there's always next year. ByteDance and a 7-member board. Consortium includes Oracle's Larry Ellison, U.S. government to collect a multi-billion-dollar fee. Y'all spend time on TikTok? You in the audience. It's not really used in my household. I have a TikTok account. I think I have about 12 followers on there where I occasionally put content. I just, it's an extra step. I think I got to get 1,000 followers on TikTok before I could live stream on TikTok. Maybe I should put a little more effort into that. But would anybody care? If a tree falls in the forest, if a YouTuber live streams on TikTok, would anybody watch? I don't know. Are the attention spans even there? I feel like no. Let's get tick-tarted. Chris says no, not his thing. It definitely is a good thing for the right content creator and the right audience. I just, I don't want to learn all those dance steps, and I don't want to spend all that time doing choreography. All right, we're coming up on 10 o'clock my time. And I still need to eat some dinner. Joe says it's meant to reduce attention spans. That is the point. Yeah, what do they call that? Brain rot. And I noticed that YouTube is really pumping those YouTube shorts, and you can just swipe up and keep going and going. I do find myself doing that from time to time. And most of them are just annoying. The worst thing is on a YouTube short that they feed you when someone's got a really interesting little bit going and then it just stops before they even get to the point. That is really irritating. And no, I'm not going to click on your channel to see the rest. Dumbass. Grickle says the girlfriend went back to Instagram. TikTok peaked. What does my wife use? I know she doesn't use TikTok. She doesn't really use Instagram. I occasionally catch her on YouTube. Every now and then she'll say, I watched your video. Give you an extra view. I thank you for the support. Her really thing that she's into right now is listening to podcasts. The true crime podcasts. Which is really bad for her, because then she'd be like, can you come out to the car and walk with me to the car while I unlock the back and get my grocery bag out, because it's dark and you never know. I mean, we live in a safe neighborhood, there are some crazies, you know, that have threatened us because they don't like our views on particular stocks. But she is paranoid because of these true crime things that she listens to. All right, honey, let me get the 12 gauge. I'll walk you out there. We'll make sure you get those groceries in and out safely. Six Sun asks, what is my thought on Palantir? Man, Six Sun, we've been talking about Palantir for eons here. By the way, we've been talking about Intel for the last year too. I let the Discord know on that big dip in July, August 2024, $16, $19. Time to go all in on Intel. It's at 35 bucks. You know, you guys say I never give you plays. You're not paying attention or you're not in the Discord. Doubled our money on Intel. Anybody who bought in back then and held till now. Palantir, I remember talking about this stock in 2021, 2022. $5, man. I wish I would have been a big enough believer. $5 to 190. Holy shit. We could have retired by now, guys. Hopefully y'all got a piece of that. I do think it's overpriced right now. PE ratio 403. I mean, come on. But still going up. What do I know? The market loves this story until they have a stumble. Scares me to death with this valuation. The time to buy Palantir was down here, 2023. And if you're wondering, did he really call Intel? I posted it on Twitter, our call out in the Discord in August of 2024. Yes, we've been secretly talking about Intel for a long time. I think I made a video on it too, around that time. I think I made a video. If I didn't make a video, for sure we've been talking about it for a long time. Open. Someone's asking about open door. I've been following the social media on this one. Fascinating little story. 50 cents up to $10. PE ratio is not even profitable company, is it? What I will tell you, I've been following social media. I have not been digging into their financials. So let's take a quick look. What's that guy's name that is pushing Open Door? Michael somebody, Michael Anderson. Revenue peaked in 2022. Net income, I mean, what's negative? Shares outstanding, growing. Negative margins, balance sheet. How's she look? Current assets, current liabilities, positive shareholders' equity, and positive working capital. That's decent. I don't know. I mean, why are we paying $10 for this company that's not making money? That's my main question. And I have not dug into it enough to know why the bulls are running it up. So I have nothing intelligent to add to the conversation about, is $10 a good price? I see the shorts saying hell no, and I see the longs saying $10, we're just getting started. Convince me. What am I missing here? What's the story? How are they going to turn this earnings around? Open Door stock soars after Jane Street's validation. No. I saw those posts too. Why did Jane Street buy in? We're looking at a 13F showing their holdings from end of June. that just got published. They bought a position in Open Door, but they're a market maker, right? They're also a volatility player. Is that validation, or is it just saying they're here to capitalize on retail? I have my doubts about the bulls that are holding this up. They're a quant firm. They do have a sizable stake, no doubt. As of June, we won't know for another couple months if that stake went up or down. I'm just looking to see if this news article mentioned that that was a June holdings, June 30th. Nope. Jackson's that guy's name. He's the one pushing this stock. I mean, it's been a great pump. Also pushing for leadership changes at the company. I agree with this, the wrap up. What is the plan to transform the business and drive it towards profitability? Maybe I'll do some reading on that this weekend. Maybe it'd be a fun stock to add to the rotation. But other than saying, fantastic momentum play on the weekly, we've had 2 red weeks now. Makes it a little bit dangerous. But can I say that it's peaked? I don't know. I need to see another week. It looks dangerously like it peaked right here, but too early for me to say. Just looking at the chart, it looks dangerous. Chris says, I dumped 20K into Palantir and pulled out way too quick. Story of our life, Chris, right? Pulling out too quick. I do that on some stocks. And that was an intentional, it was an intentional joke. A double entendre, as they say. Highcroft was my most recent one where I famously sold too soon. I had bought Highcroft for a swing trade at $3 and I sold at $4 thinking I was doing great. And look at this. Ran to 7. Motherfuckers. But, it's not about crying over the what ifs. It's racking up a string of profitable trades. In the end, you're going to be okay. Maybe I should have held part of my position a little bit longer. I sold right here on this big green candle, and I thought I was a genius for 1, 2, 3, 4 more weeks, and then silver took off. What are you going to do? I was waiting for it to come back down a little more. What are you going to do? We don't always call them perfect, but if we get a string of first or second base hits, it adds up over time. You want to get those first and second base hits, string a bunch of those together and not be that guy that hodls stuff 4 years into the red, praying for a miracle because you YOLO'd your life savings into one company. Joe says if Palantir really is the contract holder on the digital IDs in the UK, I can see some kickback from Trump in the near to medium future, but also maybe they are already bedfellows enough not to do so. Maybe I'll have some thoughts about that next week, Joe. Yeah, and why didn't we hold on to NVIDIA? You know who really gave me the DD to buy Intel 2 back in the day? Was an exec friend of mine at NVIDIA. I said, what do you think about NVIDIA? She's like, yeah, I mean, I'm doing good, Tony, but you should be checking into Intel too. That was a telling moment over a year ago. And I listened. Yeah, I did see silver went up over 45. You say 46. I didn't see 46, but let's close out looking at the metals. Gold 37.80. God dang. God damn. 46.36. Holy smokes. Could have bought for 18 bucks. I should have listened when y'all were telling me in 2022, Tony, buy silver now. Dummy me was waiting for a bigger pullback, which never came. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. What are you gonna do? It's okay. We can't be in everything, but I woulda liked to have a piece of that. Juan is back, guys. Let's send him let's see. I'm looking for the applause for Juan. Welcome back, Juan. Welcome back. We love you, brother. We love you. He said, this dude has no clue what he's talking about, except for his pre-made script. Pre-made script, really? That he created with AI. I mean, first, Juan, you and your little buddies said that if I had earphones in, it's because someone was telling me what to say. I've been sitting here live streaming, reading whatever tickers people ask me about, going through financials and sharing thoughts, and you think AI is telling me what to do, huh? Juan's been smoking a little bit too much of the wacky tobacco tonight, I think. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Chinga tu madre. Yes, I am just AI. Thank you, Grickles. Little known fact. Tony is just AI. He only knows what to say, what his AI script tells him. Never mind all the lives that he does answering questions on whatever. If I don't know, I'll just tell you I don't know. I don't have any script. If I have opinions, I will tell you my opinions. And if I know, I will share with you what I know. Juan sounds like he'd been dropped on the head one too many times when he was an infant. But we appreciate you being here, Juan. I mean, any little contribution to the algorithm is much appreciated. I wish we'd have a little more haters in here. Juan says, tell me the story of how much you made on Finger. All right, let's pull up my trades on Finger, Juan. Finger is a piece of shit company that is a volatility swing trade only. I bought in most recently one at $1.30 on December 2024. I forget where I sold in here. I sold well before $5, but I locked in a green trade on Finger. I went on social media around $5 and told people it was topping out. All the Finger people came after me, called me a paid for by the hedge funds because I was urging people to take profits. And I endured months of hate and Tony works for the shorts. Meanwhile, the thing bled all the way back down. I don't know what else you want me to say, Juan. We called that one perfectly. We got in damn near the bottom and we called the top perfectly. I sold before the top. I have no position in Finger. I do cover the financials for people that want someone intelligent and honest to explain Y-Finger is not a investable long-term hold. But it's a good swing trade on volatility. Nike Foreplay says, why not get back into Hycroft? I mean, it could go well up above $7. Nike, it certainly could. If Hycroft has good news, and we're approaching the end of the year technical report. I mean, I'm not going to lie, I've thought about it, but I'd like a little bit of a pullback. But good Lord, man, if silver keeps going, there's no reason for Hycroft to come down. Look at all of these baskets here. This is our junior gold mining basket. It's been on a tear. This is not Hycroft. This is all the gold junior miners. Ridiculous. Beautiful. Silver, same thing. Hycroft's down here in the bottom right. It's following the basket. As long as gold and silver keep going up, there's no reason Hycroft is going to go down. It's going to follow these baskets. Thank you, Juan. Keep the comments coming, buddy. Every single one helps. Nike says, yeah, so why not get back in? I mean, Peter Schiff could be correct. What's the other guy? The one that invested in Hycroft. Eric Sprott, he could be correct. If they are, it's going to be a fantastic investment. And I would love nothing more than to see the people. I do not hold Hycroft. I only swing trade it. I would love to see the people that are underwater on Hycroft or bought the dip and are still holding. I'd love to see them get a multi-bagger off of that and prove all the haters wrong. I can't tell you for sure that's going to happen, but the higher gold and silver go, the better it looks for them. Yeah, Sprott, Nike, exactly. Sprott adding to his position. That is a strong vote of confidence for Hycroft and for silver and gold. But we already knew Eric Sprott was a advocate of silver. Him adding substantially to his Hycroft position, to me, is a vote of confidence that should not be ignored. I'm still going to call Hycroft speculative until the technical report is published, but at that point, if it's really good news, it might be too late to, you're going to see an instant revaluation of the stock if it's good news, and you might not have time to react to that. So for those of you that like to speculate in junior miners, you might want to get in before that technical report and then cross your fingers that it is good news. It's going to be a massive spend needed on infrastructure for that mine. Massive. It's all going to come down to how do they pace that out over time? How do they bring in liquidity or revenue while they're spinning up the mine again? And what happens to gold and silver prices over the next 5 years? Because of all of that, I don't have the answers to that yet. I gotta call it speculative until I get an update from the company. That's just being fair and honest. It doesn't mean don't bet on it. It means just size your position according to the risk you're willing to take on. I don't want to see you crying if it doesn't work out. And if it does work out, we'll pop some champagne. All right. Thank you guys for the last round of excellent questions there. Other tickers. I'll, if I have some free time this weekend, maybe I'll do a little bit of digging on Open, because that, I love following these meme plays, and it is a meme play, make no mistake. And that'd be another fun one to follow. Especially if some of y'all are trading it or you're holding it or you're interested in it. I'd like to dig a little bit deeper and see what these crazy bulls see in that one that I don't see. Right now it's after 10 o'clock here. We've been going for about 2 hours. I need to eat some dinner before it gets too late. So if you're watching this on replay, feel free to drop a comment down below. If you want your comment to stay and not get blocked, make sure you can converse like an adult and actually contribute something meaningful to the conversation. I hate blocking people, but I will do it to the kindergartners out there. We're looking to build a community of investors, people that know what they're doing or want to learn what to do. And I get it. That's, you know, this is not a channel for everybody, and that's okay with me. Thank you, Joe. Juan says, is this guy always sells the top? Man, Juan sounds like he's been hitting the tequila now. He can't even string together a sentence. Is this guy always sells the top?
Chinga tu madre.
Ay, Juan. Ay, ay, ay. I'm half tempted to pour myself a tequila and just hang out with Juan tonight and trade barbs back and forth.
Did the shorts cover? No? Then what are we talking about?
Sneakerhead said, are you willing to do a 1K challenge portfolio? You know, that might be something interesting to do at the beginning of the year. Sneakerhead. Not in September, but yeah, I mean, I will take that under advisement, especially if y'all want to do it. And you could even do it on a, what do you call those fake portfolios? I forget what they're even called. Paper trading accounts. You could even participate that way. That would still be fun for everybody, I think. Nike says, why is Juan mad? I don't know. He probably bet his entire fortune on meme stocks, and then his girlfriend left him, lost his job, wife cheated on him. I mean, no telling. He's clearly not a regular viewer of this channel because it sounds like he's angry at other YouTubers. He can't get one thing right that we talk about here. But we think he's heavy into the bottle and probably smoking a little bit of the wacky tobacco on top of that tonight. Thank you for being the entertainment one. I mean, it's always good to have a clown jester on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your support. Lovers and haters, all of you. We will see you on the next one. I'll be around this weekend. And like I was saying as we were wrapping up, if you have comments and you're watching it on replay, feel free to drop them down below. I love your guys' questions, your tickers, and your thoughts. Thank you for supporting the channel. To the supporters and the haters, you are all valued here. You always have a home here. Peace, love, God bless. Have a great weekend. We'll see you around.
Up and to the right. Up and to the right. Up and to the right.
Hello, millionaires. Short screenplays, where fortunes flip. GameStop's journey, an epic trip. From humble roofs to the moon we fly. A company's dream will amplify. Ready warriors, keyboards in hand. With their eyes on the prize, they took a stand. No one's selling, we're here to fight. How does it go? Up and to the right, up and to the right. We're in for the ride. It's us on the rise. It can't be denied. Up and to the right, through the day and night. Together we'll soar. Molasses in sight. Up and to the right, we're in for the ride. It's us on the rise. It can't be denied. Up and to the right, through the day and night. Together we'll soar. More assets in sight. Hedge funds trembling, Kenny's in shock. GameStop stock, it'll never stop. From diamond hands to rocket ships, we're not selling. We buy every dip. Up and to the right, we're in for the ride. Up and to the right, it can't be denied. Up and to the right, through the day and night. Up and to the right, more assets in sight. Billions in cash on the balance sheet. We will win even if they cheat. Dilute us more, we don't care. But value grows with every share. The tellers say it can't be done, but the retail army we've already won. With every share we'll never stop. Investors say we love the stock. Up and to the right, we're in for the ride. It's us on the rise, it can't be denied. Up and to the right, through the day and night. Together we'll soar. Up and to the right. Up and to the right. We're in for the ride. Together we'll soar. Up and to the right.
Surprise!
We're gonna win.